According to Robin Coloni, who is a professor of political science at Temple University and wrote on the Society website on October 2016, saying that in 2008, Obama spent over $1 billion on his election. We will all be participating and voting in the next presidential election, and we all deserve our voices to be heard, or even the potential to run as a possible candidate in the upcoming elections. Political campaigns are centralized around money instead of the policies like they should be. First, I'll explain how money has negatively influenced our campaign system, and secondly, how imposed limits will help solve this problem. I will begin by discussing how money has influenced our campaign system. Money is the main focus in our election system instead of the candidates and their ideas. The wealthy gain an unfair advantage when it comes to political campaigns. According to Stanley Brubaker, who is a political science professor at Colgate University and wrote on the Public Interest website in 1998, saying that with the increasing cost of campaigns, candidates are forced to spend more time acquiring the adequate funds for them. The wealthy do not have to spend as much time continually lobbying to donors for money, thus giving them more time to spend campaigning to the public and gaining more votes. Honest people with intelligent ideas are discouraged from running for office because the wealthy have such an advantage. Wealthy donors influence political campaigns more than they should. According to Liz Kennedy, who is the director of Democracy and Government Reform at the American Progress, and wrote on the American U.S. News website on October 7th, 2013, saying that elected representatives are more responsive to their financial supporters instead of the constituents and the general public. Affluent Americans have little to no say in the outcome of political policies and the outcome of the government's decisions. In 2012, 84% of members of Congress said they received more money from the richest 10th percent than all other small donors combined. Political action committees are becoming too strong and powerful than they should. Ballotpedia is a website that specializes in politics and elections and wrote in the article titled Super PAC in 2017 saying that political action committees, or PACs, are groups of people that raise money for a certain political party that have some regulations and limits. Super PACs, on the other hand, are made up of corporations, organizations, businesses, and unions that aren't regulated in the same way at all. These super PACs have no limits on how much they can raise and donate to a specific political candidate, and in the 2012 election, raised over $800 million alone. Stanley Brubaker, as I've mentioned before, says that with the unlimited flow of money into these candidates' pockets, increases the chances of corruption immensely. Now that you know more about the problem of money in political campaigns, I'll talk about how imposed limits is a possible solution. By implementing certain limits on money in political campaigns, we'll bring the power back to the majority of the people. Our government should transition to a publicly funded campaign system that has more limits and regulations than we have now. According to James Wilson, who is a political scientist and a contributor on the American Government textbook, in 2015, says that a publicly funded campaign system is a system where the government matches the donations of public donors. So if I raise $100 from a public donor, the government will give me an additional $100. This system also implements spending caps on candidates. So all the candidates have a certain amount of money they can spend on their campaign, and they cannot exceed that amount. By doing this, it evens out the playing field for all candidates and opens up the elections to a variety of people, whether it be rich or poor. Paul Waldman is a senior writer at the Washington Post and wrote on the American Prospect website on April 4th, 2014, saying that Canada, Greece, Japan, and many other countries have implemented this system that have worked well by not only saving them a great deal of money, but by forcing candidates to focus their campaigns on the stuff that really matters. Our government needs to change the way we monitor and look at public donors. Liz Kennedy, as I've mentioned before, says that by limiting the amount of money a donor can give, forces candidates to lobby to a variety of donors and not just the rich. If we eliminate all the hoops that people have to jump through to donate and make it easier for them, it will encourage more donors to donate, as well as making it available to donate small amounts. By doing all this, it opens up the election to be, it opens up candidates' ideas to take the opinions of all people and not just the rich. Today, I've talked about how money has influenced our campaign system and how imposed limits is a possible solution. Political campaigns are centralized around money instead of the policies. If this system is implemented, the $1 billion spent on each election will no longer be wasted.